welcome everyone to the 9th round of the ESR ACC GT3 series. This is the penultimate round of our championship for Season 3, and my, what a round we have for you all today. I am your host, Cole McCray. Unfortunately, I do not have a co-host today. He is actually racing. I know, what a shocker. This is not him. This is just some background footage we have going of the race. But yeah, so we have a lot to cover. I said second to last round. I believe we're seeing Max Lentini overtake Miko. What if I do? My eyes don't deceive me. But before the race begins, let us go over the standings. So, oops. So here we are with the standings for our ACC GT3 series so far. As we have probably noticed, if you're a long-time viewer, our Mike Stobmill had quite an upset, or rather he upset Maxi Lentini during our last race at Monza, or at Kyalami, my apologies. Putting not to rest, but putting a dent certainly in Lentini's charge for the lead. He'd been in the lead all the way up until that point. As you can see, they're separated by only a single point, so that is quite a fight we're watching here. Christopher Verstappen trailing by well over 100 points, but any time down past there is much more fighting going on. As you can see, Javier Eugeni in 4th, Albert Hona in 5th, separated by only 2 points. Likewise with Jeff, who put in an astonishing run, but had it foiled a little bit at the last race. And pretty much past then, everyone is separated by only a few points each, all the way back to the one that we last see in this chart, Wesley Stokes in 15th. So anytime past there, it's going to be a pretty much free-for-all. We've seen a couple of interesting upsets. James Butler doing really well at Kyalami, facing 3rd place. And likewise, the likes of Javier Castaño Muñiz, Albert Hona, and Justin Swan having a really interesting race. So they're up for probably they want to be getting some of those points back. For our teams, apologize, the team viewings are not appearing to be working so well, but that's all right. I can just share that with you verbally. The teams, as always, XRT Motorsport has a pretty alright lead. They are leading with 646 points to 585, but Phase 2 Racing with Finesse and Max Lentini is catching up. They're only about 60 points behind, no doubt due to the veritable mess of a race at Kyalami that XRT had. Cruzan Express right behind them, about 100 points with 482. That's Christopher Verstappen and James Butler. Orange 1 FFF Racing with Sean Kinney, Murray Iwanchuk, and Mac Higgs are trailing again by some points. And again, past there, it's pretty much just a free-for-all. There's lots going on, and well, it looks to be quite a fun race. Why don't we get some overlays going, and everyone can join in on the fun. So, as far as qualifying goes, we have seen a couple of well, I'll say not upsets, but some interesting new arrivals. We have Chris Johnston in the Mercedes AMG GT3 at 5th place, setting a very nice lap. Mike Stobmill, of course, out in the front, but our Albert Hona working very hard to get the fastest lap over 2 minutes. So Mike Stobmill is the only one to break 2 minutes, and interestingly, Arjona hasn't set any fastest sector. So that honor goes to Max Lentini in 3rd, and of course Mike Stobmill for the other 2 sectors. So it goes to show that a fast lap isn't necessarily just being overall quick everywhere. Just gotta be solid and make sure everything is going well. I'm just gonna send a message to our racers. Now, as I said, this is the penultimate round of our championship. Since the display isn't working, we'll go to this one. Suzuka, very prolific track, and one of my personal favorites. Of course, I've never raced it in ACC before, but it could be. Mike Stobmill waves hi at us in the chat. Anyway, going back to our qualifying, Ayrton Tobin in 17th place, our co-commentator, is doing very well for himself. He was practicing a while for this, and seems to have paid off. Matt Higgs up into 7th. Solid qualifying for him. I remember Matt Maximin's request that we play a Muzzy track. That's a drum and bass artist. I don't think we can do that quite yet, but we'll see about that. But yeah, anyway, Matt Higgs in 7th, setting a very good record in the IGT series we did a couple months ago. He was very solid at this track, so I look forward to seeing quite a bit of fun coming from the Canadian. Rico and Sasha Hassa in 24th and 25th. A little bit uncharacteristic of them to be so far back. Maybe it's just a track they haven't practiced very much. Bringing up the back, we have Juan Ramos, John Picha, Frank Toledo, and Thomas Biino. 37 cars we have in total. A little bit less than we've had in the past, but definitely not something to be worried about. Oh, Matt likes this. Okay. Yes, looks like Connor Levy has commented that the server has gone a little bit funky, but it looks like we have fixed it. So, as usual, 1 hour race with a 20-minute pit window centered around the half, so 40 to 20 minutes. Interesting, I'm hearing some cars going, but I'm not seeing them going. That might just be background noise because the session has not started yet. So there's plenty to be looking out for. Like I said, we have the big battle between Mike Stobbmeal and Maxi Lentini. We will have to see how that goes. And yeah, there's going to be a lot to watch for. We popped the timetable back up. Javier Castaño Munoz. I don't even see Justin Swan. Is he here? Is the question. Well, anyway, Alba Arjona doing solidly in 2nd place. We can't view the entire timetable, unfortunately. So Justin Swan. Oh, Justin Swan's 14th. I see. So not solid, not as very characteristically good qualifying for Team AXRT and those Porsches. I wonder if they might be playing a longer game here and trying to maybe take it a little bit slower. Last time they got absolutely demolished at the last race at Kyalami, so I wouldn't put that I wouldn't put it beneath them, shall I say. Travis Wallace in 19th place, as well as Andy Long and Andy Anderson. Oh, apologies, Andy Long and who am I forgetting? And 9 shits, Andy Anderson. Oh, no, it is Andy Anderson, Andy Long. Okay. So 9th and 10th for them, followed by our teammate Travis Wallace in 19th. So overall, solid enough. So that could be a battle we've seen. They've been fighting hard the last few races. Not necessarily for points, but definitely for prestige, we shall say. And as the cars start and warm their engines and get moving, we get to see, we'll take a small tour of Suzuka Circuit. If the director decides to. There we go. Okay. So as we can see, the drivers are coming around. Looks like we only have a very limited starting, formation lap. So I won't go over too much, but a very tight, twisty section falling into a very long sector 2 and 3. So this could be a very balanced track. I mean, I believe it's a very balanced track, but we could see any number of things happen as the cars separate and cause all sorts of untold chaos. At the front, we see Porsches and Lamborghinis mixed in with a little bit of Aston Martins and Mercedes, and we see Ferraris appear toward the middle and the like. So anyway, we'll stop now and let the cars do the talking. The red lights are flashing as they come to the finish line. And green lights are waving, or green lights are flashing, green flags are waving. Sorry, the spotter confused me there. So as we go down board with the Helicam, we see Maxi Lentini jump to start and get a drive-through penalty right off the bat. Not a great start, but he has plenty of time to overtake it. Mike Stobmule got passed by Albert Arjona, who made a dive for first place around turn 1 and 2. Oh, we have conflict in the back. Looks like XRT and 9 Shitza had problems. I believe that's Travis Wallace going over the dirt. Looks like he didn't care. Oh, and there's a car off. Looks like that was Sean Kinney. No, that's incorrect. That might have been Andy Long. Yeah, Andy Long was the one that was actually pushed off, and that's not good for that team. Anyway, as we go back to the front, we see Mike Stobmule in second, being solely hunted down by Max Lentini and Jeff as well. So there's plenty going on here, ladies and gentlemen. Oh, we see Max Simmons get a little bit sideways coming out of Degner's. The 3 Lamborghinis of Orange 1 FFF doing very well for themselves, holding on to 6th, 7th, and 8th place. Pop out the timing window. So the top 5, 6 have become, or I'd say even the top 8 have become very, very, I won't say congested, but they haven't let any time get by them. Looks like Juan Ramos has had an incident in the hairpin as they round off the final chicane to complete lap 1. Well, you always see some action. It's actually been cleaner than we've been used to seeing, especially around turn 1. Suzuka having an especially unforgiving turn 1, a very high-speed corner that with a decreasing radius that provides some range. Oh, Maxi Lentini is falling through the ranks. What is happening to him? He's in the pits immediately to serve his drive-through penalty. Interesting choice, but probably a good one considering that he will get into clean air very, very quickly. Probably not a better place to serve that other than right now. Very, very close racing still. But we do see some spreading out going. The top 3 splitting up by a second or so. Looks like Ayrton Tobin made his way up to 11th place, as did Max Simmons into 10th. Notable battles happening right now everywhere. What's really interesting, I'm curious most, is that Sean Kenny falling back, or wait, no, Andy Anderson actually making his way up into 7th, so he got a fantastic start out of this race. The 9 Shitza Aston Martin team doing very well for themselves. Overall, fairly clean. We are seeing the groups split up slightly. Our commentator turned racer, Ayrton Tobin, rounding 130R as we speak. Max Simmons going very wide, but not getting into too much trouble there. He might get a slight reprimand for that, but nothing more. Apologies, I forgot that the audio was muted, so now we're hearing the roaring of the cars. That's what I get for using a monitoring program, to hear my own audio, I suppose. I guess Max Simmons is right on the tail of Javier Muñiz. Let's go on board. We go to relative timing. Oh, Max Simmons dipping to off of Dunlop, and Ayrton Tobin making a pass. Very clean move. Although Ayrton is dipping a little wide himself. Well, we shall see how this conflict resolves itself. Oh, Maxim is getting very uneasy on the accelerator. So Dunlop and the Degners, Degner 1 and 2, those last two corners we saw, are very, very difficult to master. Very slim margin for error and victory. We shall see how that works. Let's hop back up with Mike Stobmill and Albert Arjona. Looks like Stobmill is putting some time between him and Arjona is likewise pulling away from Jeff. That said, the battle for third appears to be hot as ever as Chris Johnston battles with Jeff. But the twin Lamborghinis of Matt Higgs and Murray Iwanchuk are likewise chomping at the bit. The beautiful Japanese sunset starting to develop over the hills. Matt Higgs tucking into behind Chris Johnston. Chris Johnston makes a dive into turn 1 around the outside, completes the pass, but he's at a disadvantage for turn 2. Ooh, Jeff gets into a little bit of contact, I think, maybe. Oh, look, Chris Johnston's doing everything he can to get out, to stay out of the fight, but Matt Higgs takes the opportunity, gets past Johnston, and all of a sudden Sean Kenny, or not. Oh, sorry. Yeah, and then now Murray Iwanchuk is going for the bit of the pass as well. Sorry, I confused my Lamborghinis. So the person we might want to watch right now is actually Iwanchuk. Coming out of Degner 2. Wait, something must have happened to Jeff. Now, Jeff is way back and is actually, that happened a while ago, actually. Apologies. I'm confusing my cars. I was trying to watch Iwanchuk. So as they come into Spoon, one of the hardest and most unpredictable corners of the track. Everything goes well. So, battle's still forming, or battle's still happening, I should say. One of note might be Rico Hassa and Simeon Naku. Just kidding, Simeon got punted back. Javier Eugeni and Rico Hassa. Rico holding his 13th position, qualifying position, although Sasha fell down to 20th. Don't know how that happened. Also appears Ayrton Tobin. That's Tobin's car. Ayrton Tobin and Max Simmons are still battling. About a second between them, or half second. Ooh, Eugeni going wide, maybe opening the door for Hassa. Doesn't look like it's gonna happen. Someone's in the pits. Can't quite tell who it is. I'm sure we'll find out eventually. True to form, we see Justin Swan battling with Travis Wallace, the XRT team Porsches and the 9 Schütze team Aston Martins love to get into these fights. And rightly so, they're very evenly matched teams. 9 Schütze appears to have gotten a little worse on the luck, but to be noted. James Butler directly behind him, wanting a piece of that action as they approach the hairpin. So lots and lots of fights going on. Plenty to watch. Although, as ever, the fight for third between Jeff Higgs, Johnston, and Iwanchuk, and arguably also Anderson, is probably our hottest one so far. Porsche cresting Spoon. This is the point where you would think that the Mercedes would maybe have a slight advantage in a straight line, but it looks like even with the toe, it's not going to happen. Andy Anderson is having a ducking inside, trying to have a look. Jeff flashing his lights at a slow car ahead. That is Ramos, Juan Ramos. Not the best place to make a pass. Oh, okay. Johnston making a move around Matt Higgs. Gets it done through the final corner. Looks like he might even have a run on Jeff. We'll have to see. Yellow flags in Sector 1. No passing. He's not going to be allowed. As Ayrton Tobin falls through the ranks. Wonder if he got involved in an accident. Jeff maintains his position, and Matt Higgs wants it back, wants the 4th place. Though there still is almost 50 minutes left. We've only just gone a 1/6 of the way, so maybe it's best to calm down. Murray Owen Chuck losing a little bit of time on his compatriot Higgs as well. Wondering where, looks like Tobin is out of the race. Just getting word that something happened with his something. We're just getting it in from a driver in the field that the incident was caused by Juan Ramos. It appears that he had stopped in the middle of the field and been impacted by Tobin. Interesting seeing as he's still running around, so I wonder what happened with him. Well, it looks like he is certainly stricken in some capacity. In any case, back to our fights. Appears that the fight between Jeff and Johnston and Higgs and Iwanchuk and Anderson and really Kenny now and Munoz and Simmons and Eugeni. Everyone's just joining in here. There's a lot of stuff going on. Many fun things happening. Johnston makes a move around the outside of turn 2 but decides better of it. Probably smart. That could have been messy. Higgs makes a move around Johnston on the inside of Dunlop. Oh, get a little bit of contact, but nothing really happened. Perhaps Johnston just decided, you know what, you can have it. There's still 3/4 of this race left, although it is yellow flag, so Matt may have passed under yellow. I'm not entirely sure. I wonder, also I'm not sure what the yellow is even for. It's green now, but I don't know what they were talking about. In any case, Murray Owenchuk is now the person Johnston is battling with. And with Tobin having an accident with Ramos, Max Simmons moves up to 10th place yet again. Now about equidistant between Munoz and Eugeni, the twin Javiers. Haas has moved up to 12th place from 13th. Sasha likewise has moved up to 19th, although that's probably, again, as I'm thinking about it, it's probably the result of Tobin, who has retired from the race. Ooh, a very wide line into the chicane for Simmons, allowing Eugeni to make up a little bit of time, which we shall see as we pass the timing gates. Oh, that's not good. Just got a replay video of that incident with Tobin and Ramos. Looks like on the final chicane, Tobin made a dive around the outside of someone, and they parted ways to reveal Ramos sitting stalled in the line, and that was just simply it for the Lamborghini of Tobin. Coming up to see the battle between Johnston, Higgs, and Jeff again. Looks like status quo is as usual, although Jeff has made some time. Looks like he's about 1.5 seconds out. I'm not entirely sure what happened there. Maybe he just had a really good lap. He's been a bit of a wild card, as it turns out, in the past. Lentini had a drive-through penalty right off the beginning. He jumped the start. I think he made a pass before the green light was flashing. He actually made that stop in the first lap. He has since fallen, no doubt. I'm not seeing exactly where he is. 27th. Well, since Ayrton Tobin has retired, would he like to maybe perhaps join on the commentary action? Well, we can have an interview at the end if it'd be better. Okay. Looks like Magus and Guillermo Taylor are going at it. That's Mike Magus, by the way, 25th place. Although Finesh and Mauricio Delgado are also going at it. Looks like Esch has had problems in the first couple of laps. He qualified not much higher than that, but did qualify higher, flashing the lights signifying that he wishes to pass. Although maybe it's just a tactic because he's nowhere near able to make it happen. Although around 130R, Delgado had some problems. Although in the next turn, Esch had some problems, so mayhaps it'll end up working itself out. There's a battle between James Butler and Justin Swan, the second highest of the AXRT team Porsches. Ooh, James Butler going around the outside of Dunlop, trying to get his hands on that 15th place, which translates to the inside of Degner 1. As there's a little bit of contact as he tries to get his way by, but it didn't happen. He had to back off before Degner 2. That's probably smart. Didn't want to cause an accident. Potentially ruin both of their races. Maybe get a penalty to boot. Scanning through the field, looks like Connor Levy is in a little bit of action right now with David Anderson, I believe. Dan Anderson, apologies. Although Rico Hassa is caught in a fight with Javier Eugeni, Max Simmons, and Javier Muniz, who are some distance from Sean Kenny, but are likewise in quite a fight. Max Simmons still holding on to 10th place that he's had since almost the beginning of this race. Let's hop on board to see what's going on. This onboard view is terrible. So is this one. Maxim is doing very well for himself here. We're only approaching the opening of the pit window. I assume he's going to make that stint last as long as he can. That's kind of his MO. But he's holding on very well for himself. This might be one of his better finishes if he's able to hold on. Check back on the Higgs-Jeff battle, and it's as hot as ever. Looks like Jeff has been tracked down by Higgs and the rest of the pack. Wonder exactly why that's happening as the cameraman has a stroke. that, our 40-minute time has passed, so the pit window is now open. Everyone has to do one pit stop and take fuel and tires. Johnson going wide. That time, Suzuka has a medium length pit lane, so it should be about, I want to say 45 seconds, maybe 50. Lost that. We'll see though. Since everyone has to do it, it's not a big deal. Looks like we have a green Porsche moving to pit early. That would be Andres Lasudis. So we're seeing the battles kind of split and merge a little bit. Jeff got overtaken by both Higgs and Johnston right when I wasn't looking. Damn it. Of course that's how that works. Must have been around turn 1. But now the battles have merged. The battle for 8th, Sean Kenny, Max Simmons, Javier Eugeni, and the like, has merged with the battle for 3rd. So we have a big old train extending from 3rd to 10th around. Oh, as Max Simmons gets past, Law loses a couple of positions down into 11th. Or no, 1 position. Goes up to 9th though at one point. But Johnson is not one to let the position go lightly. He's right on the tail. Let's go on board. There appear to be mere milliseconds between them. There's definitely Johnson's definitely getting a run on the longest straight, for the second longest straight, but 130R puts a swift end to that pass attempt. For a passing possibility, I should say. Uh-oh, Johnston gets unsettled and goes wide, ends up spinning in the grass. And that puts an end. Oh, he rejoins and almost takes out Rico Hassa. Gets on the empty pit lane and decides this is when I'm going to take a little break, which I think is smart. So we're moving Johnston from the fight for 3rd. Although all things considered, that probably happened about the best time you could have hoped, considering pit is right there. As Jeff continues to fall in the ranks, down to 7th place. Like Chris Johnston and Naughty have dove to the pits for their mandatory pit stop. As John Barker fights his way up the field and is currently in 16th place, battling with Dan Anderson. Uh-oh. We just saw, I believe that was Lasudis, who was off in the green Porsche. He's a back marker though, so it shouldn't affect their race unless he decides to cause problems. Which looks like he is blocking Butler slightly. Or not Butler, Anderson. Oh, but Lasudis goes off, so not much time was lost to Lasudis by Barker. Justin Swan, though, is hot on the tail of Connor Levy. The XRT Team Porsche not straying too much from his qualifying order. Although whenever there's an XRT car, there's a 9 Schütze car not too far behind. You see Andy Long in the background there. Like Levy is trying to break the draft that Swan had. Don't know how effective that was doing at the end of the straight. Justin Swan and Andy Long dive to the pits. Uh-oh, Long gets a little unsteady and almost loses it in the pit entrance. Well, let's take a look at the front. Albert Hona is on his own, so is Stoffmule. Where is Maxi Lentini in all this is what I want to know. Probably in the back somewhere. As Wayne Hutchison gets a stop and go penalty of 30 seconds. So Lentini's made his way up to 29th. Well, I believe he's 27th at one point, but he has served his pit stop, so he's got quite a bit of work to do. I can't foresee him making his way all the way up to first, but weirder things have happened in the past, let's be honest. No, I can't do TeamSpeak. Well, okay, I can, I suppose. Sorry, ladies and gentlemen, one moment. Okay. Apologies, ladies and gentlemen, we're just figuring out this TeamSpeak thing. One moment, I can't hear you, Ayrton. I'm gonna have to boost you way high.
Okay.
Okay. I think that'll be good. We'll have to figure. Well, we'll figure it out.
Yes, indeed.
So what happened there, Tobin?
Well, Cole, there's something that should never be allowed here. I don't know what prompts a man to stop on track in a flying turn, but it happens.
Oh yes, sounds like the analysis was correct. That's unfortunate.
Yes.
Well,
a very, very good race.
you weren't battling for points, so I mean, at least your championship wasn't ruined. But it could have been nice to have this one race be good.
That's true. But fate wanted me back in the broadcast.
It seems so. I'm trying to figure out how to get your levels up. I will have to see how this works because I'm boosting you a huge amount, but I'm trying to also figure out. This is not the best situation. We'll figure it out. Uh oh, it looks like I'm losing connection. Although Chris Nottencamper might have.
Wow, Matt takes up in third.
Yes. So he had a very good fight with Jeff for the longest time, but Jeff ended up losing some ground and has since done a pit. But the Orange 1 team of Lamborghinis is doing very, very well this race. Well enough to make up spots in the championship? Possibly. They've got almost 90 points to third, but certainly could be worse. Meanwhile, Max Simmons up into 9th place. So he's eager to make up the spot that he lost to Hassa earlier. And Andy Long as well gets a 30-second stop and go penalty. We've seen a lot of penalties here. I don't know what it is about Suzuka, but it seems just like that's where everyone likes to get all their penalties. And as Arjona goes into the pits.
The Lentini's only up to 25th. Well, that's not good for him.
Well, he was 29th last lap, so he's making some time. And he has served his pit stop. But will it be enough? I don't want to jinx anything, but we might have seen with that lap 1 drive-through penalty. Oh, we were getting some connection issues. With that lap 1 drive-through penalty, we might have seen the death of Lentini's championship. I don't want to jinx anything, but it certainly seems that way. We'll say this, it is definitely Stoffmule's race to lose. Oh, more lag issues. Well, Andy Anderson has put a valiant effort, is now up into 4th place, doing very well for himself. He's definitely, well, I won't say he's carrying anyone because I think he's in his own team, but doing very well this race.
We're at the halfway mark. Keep pushing.
And as the spotter said, we are in halfway. Have 1.5 hour remaining, as well as half of the pit window is left. Mike Magus doing very well up into 14th place, although that could just be because he hasn't started his pit stop yet.
Yeah, is that a good day though? Otherwise, I mean, 14 pit or not, it's not bad.
Yeah, he was, I believe last we saw he was in 26th. I'm not entirely sure about that though. Rico Hassa making his way all the way up to 7th. And of note, he was only in 10th last we saw, so actually that's incorrect, he was in 9th, but still making his way up the field after qualifying 13th, doing very well for himself. Ooh, lag is not fun. As 2 of the 3 Orange 1, actually everyone, Team Orange 1 going into the pit box, that's going to be a very busy pit crew. They do look great lined up next to each other though, I will say that. Yeah, whoa. Another batch going into the pits. Max Simmons and Mauricio Legato not fighting for position, but are engaged currently. Here's Justin Swan is caught up in a battle with Sasha Hassa and Maxi Lentini. So Lentini still continuing his charge up into 24th, but he's still got quite a ways to go. With those 3 Porsches all jammed up right next to each other, it's a screaming banshee festival over here. Dan Anderson, Vic Nash, and Mike Magus are next chunk to do pits as Justin Swan gets passed by Maxi Lentini. Makes his way up to 23rd place. Sasha Hassa, something happened at the beginning of the race, all the way down to 22nd place. He's going board with Maxi Lentini. Note, he's not catching Sasha all that fast. I wonder what's happening. Maybe he's just trying to, maybe he's learning from past mistakes and trying to just be calm. Honestly, it's probably his best chance of, oh no, as I say that, he goes off in the S's. Oh no, and the car is stopped. Yellow flag's out, and he returns to the pits. He might have given up just there. As Lentini again falls. 23rd place now. I don't know about that. We might have just witnessed the end of Lentini's championship. Or rather his attempt at winning the championship. I can't say anything for certain, but I would hazard a guess that he has simply outdriven himself since that beginning drive-through where he jumped the gun. That's kind of the Lentini, what we've seen of it's kind of standard Lentini procedure of what we've seen so far. Could have been something else, but I'm confident that was it. Max Simmons up into 4th as Javier Eugeni is also in 3rd and Andy Anderson in 2nd. Stavmiel going into the pits for his pit stop. Battle for 10th with Sean Kenny and Javier Munoz as Kenny makes a beautiful pass around the inside of 130R. Wait, not 130R. That was Dunlop. So seeing as Arjona was second place up until the pit stops, we could see, and Jeff somehow got back past Higgs and Iwanchuk. I wonder what happened there. Oops, didn't mean to switch to that. So Kenny has dropped back a little bit. Maybe he's trying to get a run out of Spoon. Getting a run on the Porsche as they go through 130R, backs off. Usually a good maneuver. I don't think I've ever seen anyone make a good pass under that turn. Very difficult. As Andy Anderson and Javier Eugeni make their pits, Max Simmons finds himself in first place. As yeah, that sometimes happens when you pit at the very last second. Kenny's not letting Muniz have any inch though. He's making him fight for every last turn. Although it looks like Eugeni is in a battle of his own. Maybe that was a coincidence because it looks like he has fallen.
Oh, Matt Hicks running a little wide up, getting out in the gravel.
Uh oh. Looks like he's okay.
He corralled if he lost.
Oh no, looks like Mike Magus is down to 21st. Probably due to an accident. Sean Kenny still doing battle with Javier Muniz. Allegedly. The cameraman won't show it. And there we go. So something went wrong with the collective Orange 1 pit strategy. If this was real life, I would say that it was probably due to them getting a little ambitious with their pit strategy, but in this game, I'm not sure what happened because they all appear to have gotten affected about equally. So let us for a moment turn our eyes to Max Simmons, who this will be his last attempt to make a pit stop, or his last chance rather. Anyhow,
The drama around Simi and Aku, currently listening to some driver radio here, is telling him he has not pitted despite the fact that he has driven through the pits.
uh-oh.
So,
Did he stop?
Maybe.
I wonder if he's
driven through the pits, although he's up to 12.
Yeah, I wonder if he stopped for a pit stop. I'm not sure. I can't verify that.
So it's sounding like he might not change tires. So he had a very short stop.
Yeah, I would believe that. Oops. So Mike Stobmiel setting a it looks like he had some problems. Last lap 209, way off his previous pace, and that wasn't his pit lap, so he must have had an off. Anyhow, back to the battle for fourth. Matt Higgs right on Jeff's tail. As the pair of cars go into Interspoon Corner. Looks like Higgs got a little bit outbroke himself a little bit, allowing Jeff to get a little bit of run. But the Lamborghini is faster than the Porsche on the long straights, as we've seen in this very race. Very nice 130R for Higgs. And with that, the pin window is closed, and Max Simmons has made it in time. No 150-second penalty for him.
Ooh, is Simmons good? Because he's in the pits. Oh,
Yep.
it looks like
Yep.
he counted it.
Yeah,
Okay.
McCray counted it. I think as long as you enter the pit lane before the timer is up, I think that counts. So Simmons back down to 10th, where he belongs, I suppose. It's pretty average result for Simmons if he holds it. He's generally around there. He's at a couple of seventh, a couple seventh and eighth. Meanwhile, Higgs is not giving Jeff an inch. With 20 minutes to go, he wants it. Although Sean Kenny, it looks like, is also doing battle with Rico Hassa as we attempt to get the director to obey. Ooh, Rico goes wide, but so does Kenny, as Javier Munoz puts some space in between them. Meanwhile, Jeff and Higgs still engaged. Looks like Higgs again outbroke himself into Spoon. So yeah, it's confirmed Samu Naku will receive a 150-second penalty at the end of the race for not serving his pit stop. Max Simmons falls into 12th place. Wonder what happened there. Mauricio Delgado making his way up to 22nd. And now doing battle with Mike Magus. Or not doing battle, but they're adjacent. Pop into the battle between Simmons and Anderson. That wasn't as interesting as I thought. But Anderson and Wallace do flank him, so they have motivation to put him down, so to speak. As we peek back through the field, looks like no battles of note happening. Everyone's pretty spread out. Maybe Justin Swan and Sasha Hassa, but it's still over a second gap. Although it looks like Arabella Arjona has made some mistakes. He's getting caught up substantially by Jeff, and by extension Higgs. Iwanchuk is a little ways back, but still could pose a threat. And I think I just noticed that Lentini has left the race, forfeiting all points. So that will be the end of his championship, at least
Who's left again?
Lentini.
Oh my.
So
then yes, if he's left the game, that will indeed lock up Stockmill championship.
And potentially even second, potentially even third place. Is that Verstappen now? He's over 100 points down.
Yeah, Verstappen is gone from this race as well.
Oh, I didn't notice that. So this battle for third has turned into the battle for second, as Arjona is struggling to maintain lap times on his tires. I don't know what's going on there. Last lap was a 2:03.7, so substantially slower than Jeff and Higgs behind him, as they do some sweet drifting because of lag. Looks like the battle between Swan and Hassa has really picked up. Oh, just kidding. It had on the timesheet, but not in reality. Unfortunate. And we haven't talked about much this race, Javier Perez Torres tracking down Chris Naughty. No, I know his name. No, I don't. It's Nottenkemper. That's right. Sorry, Chris. I would attempt to pronounce the umlaut, but I would butcher it. Probably even worse than just saying Nottenkemper. Although, as I say that, Javier is catching Chris down to a half second from about 0.8 earlier. And while Justin Swan has also picked up the battle with Sasha Hase. I wonder aloud what the impact the track temperature has on the tires in this game, because it has gone down a couple of degrees centigrade. Don't know if that is significant enough to cause significantly worse lap times, but notice that Justin Swan and the like have been setting slower laps than they previously had. Meanwhile, Chris Johnston firmly engaged with Javier Eugeni, Sean Kenny, Javier Munoz, and Rico Hassa. This is very meanderingly related to 6th place. Well, Matt Higgs still on the fight. We're still on the hunt for Jeff, who's also on the hunt for Arjona. Not much changing there. So we could be, if Higgs is able to keep this up, we could be looking at his best finish of the season. 4th place, I believe, is the best. No, he did have a 3rd place at Spa. And another 4th at Hungaroring, I forgot. At Spa, he did suffer some substantial penalties. Oh, looks like Jeff got a little unstable under braking for the final chicane. Matt Higgs eating up the space between them. Let's go on board to examine this more closely. Oh, making a pass in the, nope, he tucked his nose back in. I was gonna say, that'd be a very dangerous place to pass, but we've seen worse things happen, so I guess you can't say anything. Uh-oh, Matt Higgs, true to form, out stripping his car just a slight bit and getting into, going wide around Dunlop. But grabbing it right back as Jeff struggles behind Arjona through the Degners. Having a look back, Sean Kenny, Matt's teammate, is struggling also with Munoz, Arjona's teammate. So we've got Orange 1 collectively doing battle with Team AXRT. Uh-oh, bike spike, pay no mind. Chris Johnston has been on Javier Eugeni's tail for quite some time. I wonder if one of them will crack at some point. Sean Kenny diving around the inside. The faster Lamborghini making mincemeat of that Porsche in the straight line. But as they come to 130R, will he be able to hold it? Ooh, looks like Eugenie got a little bit, or no, Muniz, apologies, got a little bit unsteady into the entrance, allowing Eugenie to pass him as well. Oh, and it's a mess into the chicane as Johnson makes a move around Muniz as well. So it looks like Eugenie might have fallen from Muniz might have fallen from the beginning of this pack to the very end. And even Andy Anderson looks to be gaining substantially with Max Simmons in the background there, gaining some time as well. Sean Kenny, but Eugenie makes a move around Eugenie. But around the outside of turn 1, lead makes for a poor entrance into turn 2. And that's not going to happen. Very clean pass there. Ooh, someone's off in the dust a little bit. Who is that? I think it might be Hassa. Couldn't tell there. So now the battle really is between Eugenie and Johnston for 8th place. Although Muniz wants his position back, he's not letting it go without a fight either. Oh, I missed it. Matt Higgs got by Jeff. Don't know what happened there. Probably can assume that Jeff ran wide somewhere and allowed Higgs right on by. He also appears to be losing time slightly. Up to about 2 seconds as they catch up to, I believe, 35th
Wow,
place.
yeah, Higgs isn't just by, he's gone.
Wayne
Can
Hutchison.
he catch stuff? Meals the question.
Oh yeah, I'm sure he can. Yep, that'll be easy to do in 8 minutes. So Wayne Hutchison lets Higgs by. Will he do the same for Jeff? Although it looks like Jeff is having trouble tracking down Hutchison as well, so I wonder if he suffered some damage somehow. Well, it looks like I'm seeing here that Jeff did have an accident, so let's go back and watch that for a moment. So into turn 1, Jeff is Jeff dives under Arjona, contacts him, goes wide, and sends Arjona sliding, so that's why Arjona isn't up there anymore. Okay, so that was... yeah, it was a little bold of Jeff. That could have easily caused some damage to his arrow. Rico Hassa in 6th place, battling with Albert Arjona. The stricken Porsche probably also not too happy. Maybe a little damage as well. Actually, maybe we can pop on board and check that out.
So Cole, how are those standings looking with the teams? With those Lamborghinis having such a good day today, and XRT not really out there much.
It doesn't. It won't matter too much, I don't think. Orange One is behind their next competitor, Cruise Line, by 90 points.
Okay.
So they're gonna have to get a substantially better run. Cruise Line isn't doing great in this race, but
okay, so Orange might take 2nd, but they're nowhere near 1st.
3rd. Cruise Line is 3rd, but yes, they might take 3rd. Phase 2. Oh, Phase 2 is really hurting. They're 100 points from Cruise Line, which is 3rd, but I mean, it wouldn't be hard to get 100 points when Lentini, their highest scorer, is out for the count. So AXRT is probably clear of all of this. Yeah, I know it, because Arjona is in 5th still. But Orange, we might see a switch up between Phase 2 and Cruise Line here, and Orange 1 will probably have a substantial gain on that. What with Matt Higgs being 2nd, or you want to check being 4th?
Matt Higgs going a little wide. I've noticed that even in the practice race, he really likes breaking.
Albert Arjona making a move on 130R. Rico Hassa gets shoved a little wide. Looks like there's not a problem, but Hassa is allowed the position back by Arjona. So that was an interesting maneuver. Oh, looks like Hassa struggling in the chicane as well. Might have outbraked himself slightly. Arjona is being forced to slow it down, but Sean Kenny is out for the run. The Lamborghini is faster than the Porsche in the straight. So will we see a switch up? Sorry for interrupting you, Ayrton, but action happened at this point. He's making a move into turn 1. They're side by side. Yep, and Kenny gets the pass. Sean Kenny up into 6th place. Although it looks like Eugenie's making a move as well. Oh, nope, he backs out. Okay, apologies, Ayrton. What were you saying? You're saying Matt Higgs in the practice race.
Oh, just that Matt really likes braking as late as possible to that chicane, which obviously makes sense, but he takes it to the absolute limit every time and frequently locks up and goes little D. He just did on the last lap as well.
Yeah, we saw that happen in, I believe, lap 3, very early on. He had some problems. Good that he was able to get way past him. It looks like Jeff is catching back up without Wayne Hutchison in the way. Not much, but they're still... Oh, whoa! They're all flying away. Fly! Oh, we lost connection, I believe. Piss. Well, we're gonna just... we're just gonna... Okay, so we're gonna try and fix this immediately. Not even gonna try to freaking do the cover. How's everyone's Sunday been? Mine's been pretty good. Really? That's good. I'm glad to hear it. Okay, anyway, we're back. A quick recovery. Oh, as Eugenie makes a move on Arjona up into 6th place as Muniz. Oh no! Eugenie tries to make a pass on Run 30R and just butchers it, slams into Arjona, who's forced to concede a position not only to Eugenie but also Johnston and Simmons. Max Simmons up into 9th. Well, that was a perfect time to be rejoining. Looks like the director has crashed. A moment while I try to get it working again. Okay, and we're back. So, anyway, what's happened? Higgs is still in 2nd. Very good. Muniz got a slowdown penalty. Oh, Higgs off in Dunlop! A substantial slowdown for Higgs. Jeff is eating it up right on Higgs' tail now. Also looks like Sean Kenny got passed again by Rico Hassa. Oh, sorry, didn't mean to click on that. Oh, and slow into the hairpin as well. Looks like he's lost a little bit of his edge. Can he hang on with Jeff right behind him? Dan Anderson also under fire by John Barker. Ooh, Jeff has a horrible spoon. That's going to put him a little bit back, especially as they enter the long straight. So we'll check back on that in about half a lap. Max Simmons is fighting with Javier Eugeni after being conceded his position by Albert Arjona. I wonder if Eugeni's going to be getting a penalty for that. Oh! Max Simmons makes a dive attempt, or a passing attempt, but then tries to get back, but doesn't realize that Eugeni is still there. Max Simmons is going to make the dive that Eugeni tried to last lap. Doesn't look like it. He backs out before 130R. Less than a 1/10 of a second between Simmons and Eugeni. This could be interesting. As the fight continues for 6th place, or 7th place, apologies. This entire race we've seen nothing but chaos for 6th place. Looks like Andy Anderson's going to make a pass for Arjona too. The Porsche being somewhat slower in the straights. Ooh, he gets the undercut. Side by side through turn 2. Ooh, how's this going to work? Looks like Arjona has the inside, but does a worse line. Nope. Arjona maintains his position. So how is that P7 battle going? Looks like Johnston's made a little bit of room in front, or behind, to Eugeni. Let's go on board with Max Simmons, who's currently fighting the BMW. As we enter our last lap. Off of the side, it looks like Jeff, who's battling with Higgs, just had a terrible lap. Might have had an accident. He's 4 seconds down on his best. Oh, okay. So Mike Stottmeal just crossed the finish line for the last time. So it looks like we're gonna have one more lap after all. Maximins, Matt Higgs, Albert Arjona, Javier Muniz. Oh, Johnston goes very wide into Spoon, forcing Nash to check up, but that's lap car. And Eugenie is forced to slow a little as well. Max Simmons right on the tail of the BMW. Unfortunately, that M6 is the fastest car in a straight line of pretty much anything we have here. So it'll be difficult to make room before 130R on that. Looks to be suffering under braking slightly. Max Simmons making a pass as Eugenie outbrakes himself into the final chicane. Forces Max Simmons to go wide though to avoid hitting him. That could have been a pass, but unfortunately it wasn't working out that way. It's like Jeff is falling in his battle for second place. No, I lied. Wait, no, is that you, Chuck? That's you, Chuck. Yeah. So yeah, Jeff fell. Matt Higgs is firmly entrenched into second place. Mike Stoffmeal enters the straight before 130R. Take a look back. Mike Magus has fought his way back up to 20th. And now battling Justin Swan. And with that, Mike Stoffmeal wins round 9 of the ESR ACC GT3 series. Very well. So who is behind? Higgs, just rounding Spoon. Justin Swan, Mike Magus' battle finishes with Justin holding 19th place. Matt Higgs giving a victory headlight flash, maybe a little too early for that, but all he has to do is finish now. Sean Kenny still battling heavily with Rico Hassa as they enter the chicane for the last time. Ooh, Kenny outbrakes himself slightly, giving Johnston maybe a little bit of a run. No, it doesn't look like it's going to be enough. Apologies. Anyway, Max Simmons battling Eugenie, not going to be able to get the position. Although made some spots up anyway. What were you saying, Tobin? Apologies.
No, just that, yeah, I guess that will do it for Stoffmeal. I was thinking he would have to start and get at least 1 point, but no, he now has more than a full race lead over Lentini.
Yeah, that will be a
Although
fork
I'm sure
in.
He's not exactly gonna sit back and coast around at Bathurst.
Yeah, I would hope not.
He wants to go out with a win.
I was kind of surprised that Lentini just left. I mean, obviously tensions have to be high after that that unfortunate off and then the drive-through at the beginning, but he still had plenty of time to make something happen. Any case.
I wonder if I can go back and watch, see exactly what happened with Lentini.
Well, he just in the S's he just outbroke himself into one of them and sat there for a while and then eventually just left. I don't think he took any damage, but you never know. And surely enough, Simoniku gets a 132nd penalty for not pitting correctly. That's unfortunate. At least it's not 150 like I originally said. Jeff apologizes to Albert Arjona for running him wide at 130R. Meanwhile, our finishing order is as follows: Mike Stoffmeal first place, Matt Higgs second, Jeff third, Murray Iwanchuk fourth, Rico Hassa fifth, Sean Kenny sixth, Johnston, Eugenie, and Arjona 7th, 8th, 9th, Travis Wallace in 10th, James Butler 11th, Simoniku 12th, Dan Anderson 13th, Javier Muniz 14th, John Barker 15th. Sorry, I lost my place. Connor Levy 16th, Justin Swan 17th, Mike Magus 18th, making a little bit of run on that last couple of laps. Sasha Hassa 19th, Guillermo Taylor 20th, Mauricio Delgado 21st, Chris Naughty 22nd, Javier Torres 23rd, and Vic Nash 24th. Looks like Connor Levy's asking what happened to Lentini. I'll tell him.
No, I'm watching it right now, riding with him. You know, to be honest, I have absolutely no idea why he would got a penalty for that. He was the exact same speed as everyone, and went, if not a moment after the leader did. I cannot believe he would get a drive-through for that.
Well, you know, the game decides the rules, I suppose. A total shame, a total shame. And with that, we can do a little bit of speculation as to finishing order. Or as a tournament order, apologies. So Stobmiel is firmly entrenched into first. Christopher Streppen is likely going to lose quite a few positions. He's only 50 places, or 50 points away from Eugeni, Arjona, and Jeff, all three together. Muniz might also have a chance, so Verstappen could fall potentially to 8th. Matt Higgs, not Richard, is likely to gain quite a few positions as well with that second place, his best finish so far. Sean Kenny is likely to do the same, perhaps not as far, but a good amount. And past that, we can't really speculate because there's so much order switch ups going on. It could be anything. As for we kind of were speculating a little bit during the race, but for teams, AXRT is likely to hold on to first place. Phase 2 may end up being falling from 2nd to 3rd, or even 4th, because Orange 1 in 4th place currently did a fantastic job with this race. They may go up into 2nd, more likely 3rd. As far as the rest goes, Dhaka ASP will probably fall maybe to 7th or 8th even. Kessel in 8th is probably going to fall a little bit as well. But other than that, we also can't really speculate that much. Yeah, as we speculate with Connor Levy here, don't know why he got that drive through. Doesn't look like he deserved it. Sorry, ladies and gentlemen, just hacking into it. The government. But yeah, so that is round 9, second to last race, penultimate round of the ESR ACC GT3 series. If you like what you see, please consider subscribing, liking, joining us at esr-race.org. We have a nice little website. We also have a Discord. We have races all the time in 1,000 different games, ACC, R3E, AMS2, R Factor 2, everything you can think of. And we're also just good guys to talk to. It's a lot of fun. So, with that, that is our... I'm excited to see how the last round goes. We have quite a bit on the line here, but we shall see. I know you weren't here for very long, Ayrton, but any last words? Alright, sounds good. Look forward to seeing you next time where we go to Bathurst, our final race in the series. It'll be a fun one. Anyhow, see you there. Bye-bye.